This week on Click, your face or mine, why one look from you could be a hook into this. Space, the financial frontier. We'll pay a visit to the edge of your bank account. Surrounding ourselves with video. Is this the future of TV, or is getting the whole picture just a gimmick? All that plus the latest tech news, and if you're writing a novel, in Webscape we'll show you how to collaborate online with the great masters, even though they're dead. Welcome to Click, I'm Spencer Kelly. From smartphones to CCTV, cameras are a part of our everyday lives, photographing or filming our faces almost everywhere we go. And of course, technology now exists which can take advantage of these images, whether they're captured on the high street or posted online, by recognising human faces. But some of that technology is proving controversial, as Mark Cieslak discovered when he put his own face in the frame.
For a lucky few, their face is their fortune. However, a host of technology companies are now hoping to make a fortune from anybody's face. Technology which can detect or even recognise a human face can be found in a variety of different environments and products. Some smartphones and computers can use face recognition rather than passwords to unlock a device. But who exactly has access to or uses facial recognition data after it's been captured is a cause for concern for a number of different privacy groups. Google's wearable computing device, Glass, is fitted with a voice or touch activated camera which can record anything its wearer is looking at and upload those images to the internet. Google recently stated, "Google has said for several years that we won't add facial recognition to our products without having strong privacy protection in place. With that in mind, we won't be approving any facial recognition glassware at this time." This statement was made after 8 US politicians representing the Congressional Privacy Caucus sent Google a detailed letter outlining its worries. But it's not just Google Glass that worries people. In many countries, including the UK, there's been an explosion in the number of CCTV cameras. Some think it's a surveillance culture which has already gone too far.
We've already seen border controls try and use some element of facial recognition, but the important thing is to give people the choice. Facial recognition is processing of personal information, because your likeness, your image, is personal information. So the Data Protection Act makes very clear, if you want to process that information, you need to have the consent of the individual concerned, and if you do not have that consent, then you are potentially breaking the law.
It's not just environments that are security conscious that have an interest in the human face. Soon, retail stores could find themselves as fascinated in their customers' faces as they are by the contents of their wallets. This is a facial detection system from British outfit Amscreen. Its makers hope to avoid privacy issues as it doesn't record any data about the individuals it's looking at. Fitted here in a petrol station, a camera inside this advertising display looks for and detects the sex and age of customers queuing up.
It manages to recognise them through a number of traits. Now these traits can be things that characterise a male or a female or a person of a certain age. So for instance, if you're a male, it'll pick up the kind of cheekbone structure and then tell the advertiser and us how many people and what type of people are seeing the advert at any given time, at any given place.
The idea is to take this data and create advertising targeted more keenly at specific demographics. At the moment, this equipment is used purely for analytic purposes, but in the not too distant future, it could be used to change or deliver advertising specific to different sorts of people, depending on how long they have to hang around in a particular spot.
Our forecourt network is really fast moving. Best example would be the healthcare network. We have a dwell time there, unfortunately, of over 20 minutes where people are sitting in waiting rooms. We're able now to serve adverts depending on who's looking at the screen, whether it's male or female, and serve relevant adverts to them. Next is serving adverts in real time to people as they're standing in a queue, recognising via face detection. Also For advertisers, we will enable them to go online to our online portal to change adverts and change them in real time. What we're trying to do is replicate what's happening online in an offline world.
So, advertising that could change depending on who's standing in front of it. But this face detection rather than recognition approach is still worrying for some.
Well, this is yet another example of how much money is involved in advertising and the lengths that people will go to collect more information. So actually, are we willing to accept our everyday movements being monitored and analysed, not to keep us safe, but purely to allow advertisers to target us? And I think people will start to say, no, our privacy is worth more than a few advertising dollars.
Whether it's software that recognises us individually or kit that simply detects our presence, it's going to become increasingly difficult to avoid technology designed for watching us.
Mark Cieslak, and your views on what you've just seen would be very welcome. Email click@bbc.co.uk. Next up, a look at this week's tech news. Google hasn't done enough to allay concerns that it favours its own services when serving up search results, according to an EU official. Google's made several proposals to appease concerns, but the EU's competition chief says he wants the search giant to go further. Google's been in more hot water as well, this time after updating its Map app. Despite adding new features, it appears to have removed the Scottish island of Jura from its maps, leaving nothing but a road in the middle of the sea. Radiohead's frontman Tom Yorke has removed some of his music from Spotify in an act of protest. Yorke says the music streaming service is prioritising shareholders' interests over those of musicians. Spotify, which prides itself on being artist-friendly, pays musicians a fraction of a penny each time one of their songs is streamed. PayPal has admitted it might have been a bit too pally with one of its customers after it mistakenly credited a man with $92 quadrillion. The lucky guy, Chris Reynolds from Pennsylvania, found the amount when he opened his monthly statement, describing it as quite a big surprise. But his luck ran out when the online payments broker realised the error and reset his account to zero. Finally, scientists have successfully used human urine to charge a mobile phone for the first time. The study, conducted at the University of West England, found just half a litre generated enough energy to make a 6-minute phone call and several text messages. It's hoped the research could be useful to communities with erratic or no electricity supplies. Space. Long the final frontier for man's imagination. And these days it's the next one ripe for commercialisation too. Got a spare 250 grand lying around? Then book yourself a seat on Virgin Galactic's Spaceship 2. As long as you don't mind sitting next to Justin Bieber, of course. But as space tourism promises to go stellar, it raises other questions. Like, how on earth do you pay for your earthly needs while you're up there? Over 500 budding and well-heeled pioneers have already shelled out for a suborbital space adventure. And for a cool $1.5 billion, you and a pal can sign up for a trip to the moon. Golden Spike, a company run by former NASA engineers, is promising excursions there by the decade's end. It'll be a far cry from the idealistically inspired zeal which accompanied the first lunar landing 44 years ago this weekend. Then, the two astronauts, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, were highly trained, publicly funded servants of mankind on a mission to make history.
Here, men from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the moon, July 1969. Be keen and deep.
Armstrong passed away last year, but his moonwalking buddy is now looking ahead to the next space age and some of the more practical considerations it will bring.
Trips to Mars, the moon, even orbit, will require that we provide astronauts and astro tourists with as many comforts from home as possible, including how to pay each other.
And imagining what visiting space might be like has prompted interested space tourism parties like SETI and PayPal to contemplate many questions. How would we pay each other? What will space currency look like? How would it work?
We don't know, and that's why we're trying to assemble scientists and governments and companies that are going to pioneer space exploration and space tourism to get the answers to those very important questions.
OK, even PayPal admits that right now the idea is nebulous. After all, astronauts on board the International Space Station today have better things to do than figure out how to pay for the latest Star Trek download or ebook bestseller back on Earth. They've got a guitar.
This is ground control to Major Tom.
Of course, we could use Earth currency, but space architects like John Spencer are thinking of payment on a more universal scale. He designs concept spaceships like this luxury space yacht, complete with zero-G hot tub, of course. He's also hoping to make his own extraterrestrial transaction in the future.
I think it'd be a real kick to order a pizza from a orbiting space yacht in a space station. I mean, you can order out, right? I intend to be the pioneer, the first person to order a pizza from space.
Pizza, lovely. Can I have plenty of rocket on mine? Most of us don't want to miss a thing. And in photography terms, that can mean taking in your entire surroundings in one single 360-degree shot. For example, as you're looking at me down this camera lens now, you are missing all of this amazing scenery behind you, which really is such an incredible sight. Now, 360-degree surround video is getting more common, and thanks to the latest video apps and specialized camera lenses, that look is getting more immersive. And in fact, TV and film companies are now starting to take the technology seriously, as Dan Simmons reports. Take a look around. Navigating virtual spaces is nothing new. The point-and-click viewpoint was made popular with Google's Street View. That stitches photos together. Then last year we reported on a new batch of clip-on lenses that let you shoot your own 360-degree videos from your mobile phone. The beauty with these videos is that you choose where to look with just a click of a mouse or the swipe of a finger. They're kind of quirky, fun. And now, with so many of us fiddling around with another device as we watch the telly, either a tablet or a phone, broadcasters have started scouting for apps that add to what's on the big screen rather than detract from it. It's the start of a 3-day TV news festival at the BBC's new HQ in London, and executives are taking an interest in the new tech-on show. Here, the Wii U console is used to showcase how the TV might use surround video, with viewers getting the chance to explore beyond the confines of the screen with a second device. The gyroscope inside the controller helps direct the camera, and this piece of kit is typical of how the footage might be filmed. It's attached to a camera lens and has a cone-shaped mirror at the top. The result is an O-shaped image rather than the standard oblong one, which is then processed into a flat panoramic shot shown here across the top of the picture. Zooming in on a section of that shot then allows the user to scoot around the scene as if they were actually there. It's the role of the Blue Room at the Beeb to road test all sorts of new tech, much of which could affect how producers make TV.
Storytelling, I think, in terms of what the viewer's actually looking at, like what's the narrative. So it's, I don't know, I think it's a massive challenge for the broadcast industry because there are so many stories going on within the 360 that, you know, what's your angle, what's your story, what's your direction? It could be telling 3 different stories within one bit of footage, which I find really exciting. I think that's the amazing thing about 360 is the narrative, the story and the journey that you go on. You're choosing it as the viewer, you're in control of that story, which I think is immense and a massive change for broadcast. For the director, I think it's going to be a nightmare.
One problem with this setup, though, is the resolution or number of pixels that can be offered up at any one time. Not all of the camera's high-definition sensor can be used to capture the full 360-degree video. See the black bars at the top and bottom of this picture. And when you zoom in, the image that you end up controlling to look around and explore starts to look, well, a bit ropey on anything bigger than a mobile. So it's back to Google Street View, or at least the camera system it uses. This system uses 6 cameras rather than just the one, and those 6 video streams are then stitched together to create a really high resolution video that you can then explore. And all of that heavy lifting, the processing, is being done live on the fly by this yellow computer right behind the saddle. And that can also send all of that video straight to the net, which means that one of these systems can really put you in the driving seat. To deliver this panoramic live would require a 2.5 megabit connection, something only 4G and Wi-Fi are likely to be able to deliver reliably.
Broadcasters are interested in making content available to as many viewers as possible. What they're also interested in is making sure that people visit their online platforms. What they have difficulties with is to make sure that their online content is engaging enough. It's really hard to shoot content for TV, make it available online, and then also add value. And with surround video, it's actually possible to show way more information than you can on TV.
For second screen apps, the 360-degree video can be overlaid with floating icons, which when pressed can deliver extra information about what you're watching. But what if you're looking in the wrong direction when something happens? Yellowbird's answer is to show the full panoramic shot at the foot of the screen. Users can then pick 2 camera views to pin to their spinnable interactive screen. Here we've selected the 2 people being interviewed. Another idea comes from US outfit icy.com. It's working on a heat map next to its panoramic shot, showing where everyone else is looking, so you can decide if you want to follow the herd. Perhaps the potential to miss stuff is the reason for these videos being watched on average 4 times by each user. Several TV shows are testing the tech, including the BBC's Strictly Come Dancing. They're not keen to share the results with us just yet. But what execs will be hoping for is that surround video holds viewers' attention rather than being a distracting gimmick. Dan Simmons looking at the pros who are dealing with the cons and the pros of 360 surround video. Now, they say everyone has a book in them, but getting those ideas onto paper is, of course, a tricky task. That is, unless you enlist the help of some of the greatest storytellers of all time to act as your writing buddies, as Kate Russell does next, with the help of an app, of course, in Webscape.
It's not easy to write a bestseller, unless you're a bestseller writer, or you have the help of the great masters, channeled through this Docs demo, which is really rather fun. Just start writing and watch the pros step in to perfect your prose.
You are not an open book, I can't do nothing about that.
Now, obviously, this is not supposed to be a serious tool to improve your writing, but it could be an experience that will expand your vocabulary and get you thinking about different ways to express yourself when you're writing something creative.
From Dickens to Dostoevsky, Shakespeare and Poe, the results are a bit random at times, but fun to save and share through your Google account. For some more scientifically accurate writing, sign up for one of the latest citizen science projects from Zooniverse. Notes from Nature asks for our help with a mammoth task of transcribing specimen records taken before research data was stored digitally so that it can be used in biodiversity and conservation research.
At the time of writing, there are just 2 projects live, which involve looking at herbs or bugs, with birds on the way very soon. If that's a little too earthy for your tastes, Zooniverse has just launched another citizen science project that has you gazing off into the distant universe instead.
In this project, you're searching for rare gravitational lenses out on the edges of observable space to help scientists answer all sorts of questions about the universe. And a Worm Watch Lab is being run in conjunction with the Medical Research Council, asking us to watch tiny little worms to help scientists understand big genetic questions about human behaviour. If you're tired of the typical photo filters offered by various hipster apps, Repix is a popular newcomer, downloaded 2 million times in the first 2 weeks, that lets you remix iPhone photos by painting on them using different preset brushes. There's some free styles to start you off, with more available as in-app purchases.
Once you've finished working your magic, it seems a shame to just leave your remixed photo sitting on your smartphone. So why not download a free app on your iPhone or Android that will print it out and send it as a postcard?
Postgram lets you send images from Instagram or Facebook as well as your camera roll. The physical printing and posting isn't free, and they're sent from the USA, so could take a while to get there. You get the first 5 free to try though, wherever you're based, after which it's a very affordable 99 cents per card. To top the offering off, the scannable stamp lets you download and keep a digital version of an image you receive for a true 21st century postcard experience. Powerhouse internet automator IFTTT has come to the iPhone. I reviewed this web app last year and it got a lot of attention as it lets users build recipes to automate tasks such as posting to social media or sending your Instagram pics to email. It takes the pain out of repetitive tasks, and now you can download it free for your mobile. Day after day I'm more confused. And if you fancy a trip to the edge of space but can't afford the $250,000 ticket to go with Virgin Galactic we spoke about earlier, why not just send your face instead? Big Space Balloon is going to float 10,000 mugshots up through the atmosphere, and you can upload your picture free for the chance to be one of them. Making me strong, oh, give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away.
Kate Russell's Webscape, and you'll find those links at our website if you missed any of them. bbc.co.uk/click is the address you need. You'll also find various bits of various old programmes up there too. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, our inbox is waiting for your mail. Click at bbc.co.uk, the address you need there. You'll also find us knocking about on Twitter, Google+, and Facebook too. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.